Did you know that there is a spirit that smokes non-stop and has unlimited sexual drive? If that sounds like your kind of spirit, this video is just for you. We are talking about Pomba Gira. Pomba Gira is characterized by her unmistakable throaty laughter, bold demeanor, and fondness for cigarettes and potent beverages. Her mythology, which is shared through tales and songs, often paints her as a woman of dubious reputation, varying between a courtesan and a prostitute. However, she always emerges as a woman whose sexual life contravened conventional norms of feminine behavior when she was alive, and her spirit remains connected to the world of the living. This connection makes her capable of influencing people's lives in unexpected ways. While some see her as a prostitute, a promiscuous woman, or even a devilish figure, others view her as a deity of love, sex, triumph, and prosperity. Stay to the end to find out why she lives in graveyards and other scary places. The cigarette-addicted spirit. Here is an old tale of a cigarette-addicted Pomba Gira. Remembering the fearsome entity that had possessed his wife, Nazare, around 12 years ago, an entity that devoured cigarettes, Nilma looked around the small roadside kiosk where the three of us sat clustered around a table before he resumed in a hushed tone. It was something that I knew no one outside would ever believe, but as she passed by, all the bottles in the place just exploded. She never touched them, yet they burst, and then she sat on the ground in the center of the temple and began lighting up one cigarette after another and consuming them, burning cigarettes. She devoured them one by one, even though she didn't smoke at the time. She took a bottle of cachaça, or rum, and gulped down the whole thing. For those well acquainted with the Afro-Brazilian spirit realm, Nilma's recounting of his wife's odd behavior is a clear sign of the boisterous Pomba Gira's presence. But there is another aspect of Pomba Gira that defines her: lust and sexuality. Succubus-like sexual lust. Pomba Gira symbolizes female sexuality, allure, and desire. She is envisioned as an irresistibly beautiful woman, worshipped with great respect and caution due to her potential for intense anger. She is frequently invoked by those seeking assistance with matters of the heart and love. Pomba Gira is renowned for her association with both transgender women and effeminate men, with a reputation of identifying with both. Some manifestations of Pomba Gira are characterized as being promiscuous, loquacious, and coarse. However, she has numerous avatars, and the extent of these behaviors can vary depending on her expression. This unrestrained relationship with sexuality and the street, typical of liminal personae, is perceived as dangerous by structured, male-dominated society. Every Pomba Gira represents a distinct archetypal personality type, a woman whose sexually non-conforming actions disrupt societal and moral standards. Indeed, eroticism and assertiveness are pivotal elements in Pomba Gira's imagery and mythology. She is notably characterized by unrestrained sensuality, disregarding marital boundaries and traditional expectations of female modesty and propriety. A recurrent theme in ritualistic songs, or pontos cantados, is Pomba Gira's allure and enchanting capabilities, often describing her as having multiple spouses, including Lucifer himself. Pomba Gira is a culturally significant embodiment of female sexuality, distinct from its reproductive and motherly roles. She symbolizes a power that is both enticing and enjoyable, yet potentially menacing and diabolical. Adherents of Afro-Brazilian religions believe that Pomba Gira can impact and even possess the bodies of those who are careless or vulnerable, inciting alcoholism, excessive indulgence, sexual exhibitionism, and various forms of immoral or self-destructive behavior, primarily actions viewed as sexually inappropriate, very much like the nature of succubi. But did you know that Pomba Gira has a male equivalent? Parallel to Eshu. Pomba Gira is often portrayed as the feminine embodiment or counterpart of Eshu, the unpredictable trickster figure from Yoruba deity Eshu, who in Brazil is often conflated with the devil. This is a commonly held belief among followers of Umbanda and other Afro-Brazilian religions. Her figure extends well beyond the boundaries of religious sects, making her a staple in Brazilian culture. Her presence is felt in popular telenovelas, literature, film, music, and even street vernacular. As a result, most Brazilians are familiar with the general mythology surrounding her. Pomba Gira is in essence the classic femme fatale, dangerous, possibly malevolent. She is reminiscent of the seductress often depicted in pulp fiction and film noir. She symbolizes a uniquely Brazilian interpretation of femininity's darker aspect. Like other ambivalent and erotically potent supernatural feminine figures such as Azuli Danto or the Hindu goddesses Durga and Kali, Pomba Gira represents female sexuality to a societal structure predominantly controlled by men. By cultivating a relationship with Pomba Gira, devotees channel this double-edged power in ways that can lead to personal, if not always collective transformation. In Afro-Brazilian religions such as Candomblé, Eshu is the dynamic catalyst accountable for communication. As the deity of destiny and crossroads, he opens pathways for any endeavor and is the first to receive homage in any ritual. Contrary to Eshu, who embodies male sexuality, fertility, and power, Pomba Gira symbolizes female sexuality, allure, and desire. But that is not the most spectacular thing about Pomba Gira. A liminal being. Pomba Gira is frequently associated with transitional zones, whether they're in the physical world, such as train tracks, corridors, and tunnels, or in the spiritual realm, such as graveyards and sites of witchcraft. These intermediate spaces, also referred to as liminal zones, are perceived as the boundaries where the physical world meets the astral plane or the underworld. As a deity, she is often described as mercurial, ever-changing, and impulsive. This makes her somewhat volatile, capable of shaking things up and causing chaos when she deems necessary. She is also recognized for her irrepressible sexuality, which breaks societal norms and defies the traditional concepts of femininity. Her sexual nature is described as free and unrestricted, further emphasizing her restless and rebellious spirit. Moreover, her connection with these spaces also speaks of her ability to navigate and mediate between different realms, the physical and the spiritual, the mundane and the divine, the known and the unknown, which requires a certain level of restlessness and adaptability. That's right, she exists between worlds because she is in a constant state of restlessness. Would you like to live like her? Let me know in the comments. Much like her parallels to Eshu, this trait of hers draws a parallel between her and the Greek goddess Hecate. You might want to click this card to learn more about Hecate. If you enjoyed this video about Pomba Gira, check this one out.